Hello, and welcome everyone to this most important conversation entitled The Truth About Toxins and a Systemic Detoxification Breakthrough. My name is Denise Stephens, and I am CEO at ZOI Global. First of all, I want to extend a genuine thank you to each one of you for your tireless efforts as dedicated, thoughtful, and compassionate professionals, sincerely trying to help make the lives of others better, and your constant and consistent pursuit of a healthy outcome for every patient you work to help. At the heart of this Zoom meeting, our goal is to impart upon each one of you the magnitude of the chronic environmental toxicity problem, the benefits of ZOI's breakthrough detoxification solution, and introduce to each one of you educational tools that may help you help your patients with gaining a greater understanding of the magnitude of chronic environmental toxicity in their daily lives. At the conclusion of the presentation, we will be very happy to avail ourselves to answer all of your questions. Now, before we get into the details, please allow me to introduce to each one of you ZOI Global's product formulator, Dr. Nicholas Sirikos Karapanos, as he shares a brief message with each one of you that he affectionately refers to as his highly respected colleagues.
Hello, friends from Metro Nutraceuticals in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm Dr. Nicholas Sirikos Karapanos, the president of Metro Nutraceuticals, and I would like to talk to you a little about my background, about Metro Nutraceuticals, about our innovative technology, and about our stellar cooperation with ZOI Global. Starting with my background, I am a triple board certified pharmacist, medical doctor, and cardiovascular surgeon. I had the privilege and the honor to work for 5 years at the #1 medical institution in the world, which is Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. I am the recipient of some prestigious awards in thoracic and cardiovascular surgery. I have published 16 papers that you can find at PubMed. You can find these publications, all of them are in peer-reviewed journals in the topic of thoracic and cardiovascular surgery. And I'm the owner of 3 United States patents for our innovative technology, which is also patented in Japan, it is patented in Russia, and it is patent pending in Canada and currently in Europe for 28 European countries. This is about our innovative technology. We have the only water-soluble zeolite in the world. And because of the magnitude of this, I make the decision to devote myself to this technology and to keep pushing the envelope of research and development in this field. And that's for a very simple reason. As a cardiac surgeon, I could help 1 or 2 people a day. With this technology in our hands, with the water-soluble zeolite that we can provide in your hands, we can help thousands of people every day, all over the world. It is very important that we have to understand things are changing in medicine. Before many years, environmental toxicity was very, very low, below the radar of medical doctors. We could not even understand the impact of environmental toxicity to our wellness and to our health. Friends, this has changed. Recently, for the last 2-3 years, we see studies published in peer-reviewed journals that make a very important link between environmental toxicity and significant health aspects. That's something that, as a student in School of Pharmacy or a student in School of Medicine, I was not aware of because nobody was aware of. For instance, we have now studies, clinical studies showing that an increase in particulate matter, which is part of environmental toxicity, can contribute to significant increase of hospitalizations because of atrial fibrillation. And even patients that have received a heart graft, heart transplanted patients, have an increased risk of mortality because of increase in environmental toxicity. Friends, today it becomes more and more visible every day to medical doctors like myself all over the world that environmental toxicity plays a significantly important role in our wellness and in our health. For this reason, I've made the decision to devote myself to this, to devote myself in, again, pushing the envelope of research and development of this technology, and also cooperating with a stellar company like ZOI Global, so we can together bring you the knowledge you need in order to be able to help yourself and your beloved ones. With this, I want to let you know that I'm always one phone call away or one email away. So I will be very happy in the future to answer questions, clarify information about our innovative technology, and let you know how you can use it. One good thing though, and I would like to finish with this, is that our innovative technology is shielded. We have 3 United States patents, patent pending all over the world, and it is secure until December 31st, 2034. Recently getting into this world, I understood very well that this is very good for the business part of the business. And if you get into this effort to provide knowledge about this technology, you will have something in your hands that is going to be yours. And nobody can take it. This market space belongs to you. And friends, it's very clear to me now, after being into this for several years, that within the wellness movement all over the world, and that's a movement that many classic Western medicine trained physicians and pharmacists like myself getting into this movement every single day. Within this movement, the detox movement stands by itself. I think that we can provide in your hands at the right time, now, where environmental toxicity is recognized as a very important factor, we can provide to you the only patented detox dietary supplements in the world. So stay tuned and we will be in touch.
Thank you, Dr. Nicholas, for those most important words, and a very special thank you for committing to push research and development toward the creation of highly beneficial systemic dietary supplement solutions that are truly capable of helping people and focused on true wellness. Friends, to help facilitate your understanding of this most crucial wellness topic, I have invited a couple of very skilled ZOI Global advisors to help guide your understanding during this conversation. First, I want to introduce Lori Lee. Lori is a multiple award-winning registered dietitian and is the founder and executive director of the Wellness Center of Northwest Jersey. In clinic, Lori focuses on primary treatment and prevention protocols, helping her patients achieve maximum health outcomes in the shortest period of time. Lori has hosted and produced her own weekly integrative listener call-in radio show, which was ranked amongst the top 3 radio shows by listeners in the New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey area. Welcome, Lori.
Thank you, Denise, for this opportunity to share with my colleagues a breakthrough that has enabled me to create a protocol with a proven systemic detoxifier I can trust to safely reverse chronic accumulation of toxins that not one of my patients can avoid. And for the past 30 years in practice, I was not able to successfully treat environmental toxin toxicity until now.
Lori, we are most honored to partner with you as well as our next ZOI advisor, Jenny Caraselli. Jenny comes with an extensive background in social work, the airline industry, as well as holistic health and wellness since 1981. Jenny has founded 5 holistic wellness centers over the years and currently operates her business from her home at the Jersey Shore. Jenny is the recipient of the Woman of the Year Award from the National Association of Women Business Owners, and her passion is helping others to become the very best version of themselves. Welcome, Jenny.
Thank you, Denise. I didn't realize until a couple of years ago the magnitude of the problem of chronic environmental toxicity. So when I received a presentation similar to this one, a light bulb went off for me, and I just knew that we had just discovered the missing piece of the wellness puzzle. Chronic environmental toxicity trapped inside the cells. Now I share with my clients this incredible breakthrough, and I love receiving their feedback, which I refer to as mini miracles.
Ladies, thank you for your selflessness and for imparting your knowledge and experience with everyone in attendance in this most important conversation. Now, let's begin to gain a fundamental understanding of the problem known as chronic environmental toxicity. Lori, I'm passing it to you to get us started.
Colleagues, it is this simple. No one, including every patient you see, can avoid toxins. They are contained in the air we breathe, the food we eat, and the water we drink. At ZOI Global, we have a very helpful resource laying out all the 7 phases of toxicity coined by one of our ZOI colleagues that has been using the water-soluble zeolite in her practice since May 2015. The 7 phases of toxicity helps practitioners like you and me and our patients alike gain an understanding of the significance of biological pathways being blocked and the progression potential as time progresses on. It goes without saying that every patient you are seeing has been accumulating toxins since 9 months before birth, and the goal of each of us should be to make every effort to eliminate and mitigate dangerous toxins. The pervasive nature of environmental toxins cannot be understated. Let's start with forever chemicals, scientifically named perfluoroalkyl, commonly known as PUFAs. These are synthetic chemicals that are extremely persistent in the environment and in the human body. They are found in shampoos, paints, nonstick cookware, much more. And here's the key. PUFAs become a part of us forever. Even organic baby food, our most vulnerable population. In February of 2021, the United States Congress announced 95% of baby foods were tainted with dangerous levels of lead, cadmium, arsenic, and even mercury. Mercury toxicity is still prevalent, with many dentists still using mercury in dental work today. And then we have acrylamide. This contaminant has been classified as a probable human carcinogen, making up more than 1/3 of your patient's daily calories. And currently, United States food labels must display Proposition 65 warnings regarding acrylamide contamination. What your patients don't know may truly be harming them. Nuclear plant disasters occurring thousands of miles away, like Fukushima in March of 2011, are impacting U.S. food sources as radioactive water leaks into the Pacific Ocean. In 2022, massive amounts of this radioactive water are set to be released from holding tanks. Fish are mutating, and we are consuming genetically altered seafood containing radioactive material. That's correct. Toxins in utero. Environmental Working Group is a fantastic resource for professionals like us, as well as your patients, and is located at EWG.org. According to a 2004 EWG study, 287 chemical substances were found in the umbilical cords of newborns harboring pesticides, consumer product ingredients, and waste from burning coal, gasoline, and garbage. 63% of these chemicals cause cancer. 76% are toxic to the brain and nervous system, and 72% cause birth defects or abnormal development. Now, in 2020, the EWG.org reported a study showing a 72% increase in umbilical cord toxins from 2004, and now including lead in utero which we all know is a neurotoxic metal. So we have to ask ourselves, is this a simple glass of water or an invisible toxic cocktail of cancer-linked chemicals? As of November 3rd, 2021, EWG.org revealed contamination from toxins like arsenic, lead, and those forever chemicals, those PUFAs, in the drinking water of tens of millions of households across all 50 states. In October 2021, EWG.org released this map of PUFA's contamination in the United States. As you can see, the map shows a heavy PUFA contamination concentration along the eastern seaboard of the United States. Remember the persistent nature of PUFAs in the environment and in the body, and once inside the body, they may stay inside the body forever. You know, very recent research published in the Journal of Cardiovascular Development and Disease in 2020 suggests that early life and adult exposure to phthalates may contribute to adverse cardiovascular health with changes in blood pressure and risk of atherosclerosis.
You know, Lori, as healthcare professionals, we can no longer ignore the impact of environmental toxins on the health of our patients. Toxins are especially harmful to our cell powerhouse, the mitochondria. Toxins are known to disrupt the biochemical pathways in our body, and most harmful toxins are water soluble, and they do not just stay in the gut. Major threats of toxins may affect cardiovascular, endocrine, and respiratory functions. Chronic subclinical toxicity interferes with the homeostatic mechanisms, making resistances less strong. Toxins enter the lungs and gut, and they wreak havoc over a period of time. Typically, the average patient does not understand what they cannot see, feel, or experience something obvious. While this list is not an exhaustive list of harmful toxins, these are the top 7 perpetrators that weaken human immunity. Glyphosate. Let me point out that currently there are over 10,000 lawsuits in various courts in the United States pertaining to human damage from glyphosate. Mold and mycotoxins, phthalates, heavy metals like mercury, aluminum, cadmium, lead, arsenic. As practitioners, our goals should be to encourage and educate our patients to achieve zero heavy metals. Organophosphates, commonly called OPs, xylene, heavily used in industrial businesses and applications, and once inside the body, forever inside the body. Microbial endotoxins, they're bacterial-based, creating very sick patients. Daily, we're encountering patients struggling with nagging headaches, skin problems, unexplained exhaustion, poor sleep, and the list goes on. Every one of our patients' individual toxin tolerance thresholds is different. Our goal should be to educate our patients to work daily to slowly and progressively reverse and lower their toxic burden below their individual toxin tolerance threat. This image should resonate with each of you as it's very important. Toxins are able to accumulate in every organ and tissue, but predominantly toxins accumulate in 3 important locations: brain tissue, bone tissue, and adipose tissue. Now, I want to say at ZOI Global, we don't make nonsense claims. So at this time, ZOI Global does not make the claim of crossing the blood-brain barrier. I encourage each of you, though, to stay tuned, friends. Stay tuned.
You know, Jenny, as we move forward, I want to ask every one of our guests to keep this image in the forefront of their mind. In 1972, over 1/2 of a century ago, it was very well known by the World Health Organization what was going on regarding the contaminants lead, mercury, cadmium, and certain food additives. Let that sink in. This has been well known for over 1/2 of a century. Just over 22 years later, in 1994, GMO foods were introduced in the United States. In GMO foods, the genetic code of plants and animals has been altered and your body cannot even metabolize these foods. GMO foods are foreign to your body, and eating these foods contributes to toxicity at the cellular level. Your patients must understand to get food from farms, not food from labs. In January 2010, the research clearly proved the epigenetic effect of heavy metal carcinogens on human health is astonishing. The research concluded conclusively that aluminum, cadmium, chromium, nickel, selenium, lead, arsenic, and mercury might be solely responsible for tumors' presentation and progression. So, you eat and you teach organic, right? The research is clear. 1972, 1996, and 2010. No one can eat organic enough to avoid the chronic accumulation of toxins from heavy metals, herbicides, pesticides, viral particles, mycotoxins, etc. So now let's explore the demographics of the United States to discover some very interesting things in the geography and find out what's going on. In 2016, the United States CDC published lung cancer mortality rate for African-American females as shown on the left, African-American males as shown on the right. Why the southeast quadrant of the United States? In 2015, the CDC published the 2009 to 2013 age-adjusted incidence rates of lung cancer by state. Again, we see a heavy hand being dealt within the southeast corner of the United States. Something strange here. Now let's switch gears from lung cancer and evaluate colorectal cancer. In 2015, the NIH published the incidence rates of colorectal cancer by state for years 2007 to 2011. Again, clearly, there is something going on in the Midwest to the southeast of the United States. This 2015 NIH publication shows all cancer sites, all races, and both sexes, not just lung cancer and not just colorectal cancer, all cancer. This can't be by chance, right? Looking at the legend on the right, the red color is the worst case scenario, the dark blue color is the best case scenario, and the yellow color falls somewhere in between. Do you know what medical doctors refer to this area where the Mississippi River flows into the Gulf of Mexico? They call it the death canal of the United States. Based on current data published in the Journal of American Medical Association 2017, we can clearly see the cancer death mortality. Something, friends, is going very wrong. Now, let's take a look at diabetes as presented by the CDC in 2009. Again, we're looking at diabetes, not cancer. I would venture to say that quite possibly this map is much worse today. Again, we see that the southeast quadrant of the United States is heavily impacted. Again, very clearly, we can say something is going wrong here. Here is a most frightening publication published in 2018, Journal of American Medical Association. This is the current United States life expectancy. If you live here, you're going to live less as compared if you live in the orangish or yellowish states. However, we still have not answered why. Here is the why. According to the United States Geological Survey in 2007, an atrazine use intensity study showed atrazine to be a very well-known and highly used pesticide in the crop fields in the upper Midwest of the United States. Remember, the cancer and the disease states are down south. This is huge. This issue was very well known. In 1995, friends, that is over a quarter of a century ago, the USGS published Circular 1133, making well known the contaminants in the Mississippi River. And these contaminants went up with increased use of atrazine. So if we take a look at the Mississippi River system, we begin to realize that parts or all of 31 states plus 2 Canadian provinces drain into the Mississippi River. This totals 41% of the contiguous United States and 15% of North America. Now, here's what's key. All, and let me repeat, all of the contaminants that drain into the mighty Mississippi River system are water soluble. Our hope is that now you have a greater understanding of the magnitude of the drainage into the Mississippi River system. And for this reason, we can better understand why medical doctors refer to this area as the death canal of the United States. Hopefully, you have a greater understanding, and we cannot continue to be fooled by the marketing strategy known as organic eating. We cannot turn a blind eye toward chronic environmental toxicity. Here is the sum total truth. Water-soluble substances are poisoning us, our pets, our fruits and vegetables, our entire food chain. And it's not over, friends. No one can live without air. Some cannot survive with it. In the literature, there is supporting evidence of how true this horrible thought may be. Let's take a look. In this very recent publication, published December 17, 2019, the conclusion is very frightening. The conclusion provides evidence linking air pollution with mortality after heart transplantation. Now think about this. A patient survives a heart transplant, leaves the hospital, and dies because of air pollution. Just under 2 weeks later, on December 30th, 2019, this study concludes the occurrence of AFib was associated with short-term exposure to fine particulate air pollutants in the general population.
Colleagues, the evidence is clear and is summed up brilliantly by ZOI formulator Dr. Nicholas Sirikos Karapanos. Detoxing should no longer be considered as an option. Our patients may be ignoring it because they don't see it, feel it, and it's not obvious to them until they are in your clinic. Hopefully by now, you better understand the chronic environmental toxicity issue.
Now it's time to truly understand the magnitude of the solution. The solution is systemic detoxification. Water-soluble toxins must have a water-soluble solution. There are only 2 systemic detoxification options. One option is a drug. One option is a zeolite dietary supplement. So let's start with understanding what is a zeolite. A zeolite is a 3D honeycomb-like crystalline structure that's capable of attracting and retaining heavy metals and other toxins via cation exchange capacity. A very oversimplified visual of cation exchange capacity would be that of a magnet. But in nature, heavy metals are part of the zeolite structure, so they must be cleaned to ensure they do not contribute to the very problem you're trying to solve. We address this very heavily in just a moment. The origin of the word zeolite is Greek, with zeo meaning I boil, and light meaning stone. So boiling stone. Zeolites are formed when volcanic lava meets seawater. The lower image is the point where a zeolite is formed. Historically, water-soluble zeolites had significant limitations, but they were heavily used as well. Prior to Dr. Nicholas's water-soluble zeolite breakthrough, zeolites were available for human consumption as a zeolite powder or a zeolite water suspension. As suspensions, both forms of the zeolite had very low bioavailability, making them unable to travel to the predominant toxin accumulation hiding places, remember, bone tissue, brain tissue, and fat tissue. The predominant historical usage of zeolites was found in filtration applications and heavy-duty industrial applications. For example, this is an excellent filtration application example, as the Romans built aqueducts centuries ago, engineering their water filtration system. While this may seem quite ancient, This chart shows the magnitude of the number of aqueducts built and used by the Romans to purify their water centuries ago. On April 1st, 2012, the Food and Drug Administration granted GRAS status to sodium aluminosilicate that is most commonly referred to as zeolite. Scientists have long known that zeolite is a powerful absorbent and a powerful binder of toxins from heavy metals that each of us are exposed to every day. In the literature, there is supporting evidence of antiviral properties. Clinoctilolite may be improving the lipid profile in dyslipidemia patients. Zeolite supplementation reducing oxidative damage and plaque generation in the brain of an Alzheimer's disease mouse model. Zeolites may increase antioxidant enzymes in the blood, having effects on intestinal barrier integrity and inflammation. And a critical review of zeolite safety in medical applications is available in vivo, as well as therapeutic virtues of an ancient mineral. This suggests a promising detoxifying role of zeolite in the removal of toxic metabolites from drugs that are chronically administered during chemotherapy, diabetes, or cardiovascular diseases. Again, these research benefits were just touching the surface of the tremendous benefits of non-water soluble zeolite as is published in PubMed. And let me make a very important clarification here. All of the studies that I just showed you were performed on the non-water soluble zeolite. Make sure we understand what I just said. All of these studies were performed on the non-water soluble zeolite. Dr. Nicholas, being a pharmacist and having a very strong chemistry background, knew that if this mighty zeolite mineral was capable of being water soluble, the water soluble zeolite would be one of the most important dietary supplements of our lifetime. Well, friends, in 2014, Dr. Nicholas asked one very significant question: can zeolite be water soluble? Why was this question so significant? Because zeolite products had never been able to pass through the barrier of the cell membrane to gain access to the inner cell to chase toxins inside the cell, again, where they love to hide: brain tissue, bone tissue, and adipose tissue. On April 25th, 2017, the United States Patent and Trademark Office granted Dr. Nicholas Sirikos Karapanos the world's first water-soluble zeolite patent. Here is a very key point. His patents have never been challenged. Finally, as practitioners, a proven dietary supplement solution to be used orally for daily systemic detoxification to slowly and progressively reverse the chronic accumulation of toxins that have been accruing since 9 months before birth. No monitoring needed, no side effects, no mineral depletion. You may be asking, how does the water-soluble zeolite work and how is it different from the other non-water soluble zeolite formulations? First of all, you will never be able to unsee the difference, as is depicted in this presentation, the difference between the water-soluble zeolite used in ZOI formulations on the left and the non-water soluble pile of zeolites on the right. The most basic understanding is that the zeolite used in ZOI formulations is scientifically proven capable of traveling where no other zeolite has ever been able to travel. Let's delve a bit deeper so you now understand how the world's only water-soluble zeolite used in ZOI ClearDrops does its proven systemic detoxification job. To start with, the zeolite in ZOI ClearDrops has zeolite cages. Remember, all zeolites must be cleaned because, like we said earlier, zeolites have heavy metals by nature and they're part of the zeolite structure. After the zeolite in ZOI ClearDrops is cleaned from its elemental impurities, these cages will remain empty. The cages remain empty to act as an attractor and binder of toxins and that begins to reverse the chronic accumulation of toxins like heavy metals, herbicides, pesticides, viral particles, etc. So now let's understand the significance of vitamin C being connected to the zeolite in ZOI ClearDrops. Each of you understand vitamin C is one of the most powerful antioxidants that each of us have known all of our lives, and you preach to your patients repeatedly. The zeolite in ZOI ClearDrops is connected with vitamin C for a very significant reason. I want to remind you, Dr. Nicholas is a pharmacist first. He knew. Well, every single one of us have cells called endothelial cells. Our endothelial cells are practically everywhere in our body. Our endothelial cells have vitamin C receptors. Again, remember, the zeolite in ZOI ClearDrops are connected with vitamin C. The zeolite in ZOI ClearDrops is directed to the endothelial cells' vitamin C receptors. This is the game changer in the zeolite in ZOI ClearDrops, because every other zeolite under any other product is a zeolite water suspension and is capable of working and staying only in the gut. This is key, friends. This is very, very significant. The green body image on the left is a visual of the power of the zeolite in ZOI ClearDrops. The zeolite in ZOI ClearDrops is proven capable of crossing cellular membranes to enter circulation and chase toxins all over the body. The red body image on the right shows the toxin chasing limitations of every other zeolite on the planet. Like I said earlier, every other zeolite is 100% incapable of entering circulation and is limited to staying and working only in the gut. So as an analogy, let's use a pest infestation in a home. Your patient discovers their entire home is infested with termites. Would you recommend a solution that would exterminate the termites in your patient's entire home? Or would you recommend a solution that would exterminate the termites only in the bathroom of your patient's home? I think the choice is obvious, as the goal is to obliterate the termite problem. In the zeolite space, every other zeolite treats only the bathroom of the house, and minimally at that. This image is the game changer in detoxification, practitioners. Metron Nutraceuticals went an unprecedented extra mile to prove to you, the healthcare professional, that ZOI ClearDrops crosses cellular membranes. ZOI's systemic action validation standard of proof is called a pharmacokinetic study. The PAMPA portion of the pharmacokinetic study determines whether or not a compound can be absorbed. This is the same study that is performed on every drug in a pharmacy. Do you understand how big this is in the dietary supplement industry? At ZOI Global, we do not make nonsense claims, just like Jenny said earlier. We are just able to show every professional and every patient the proof. Remember earlier in the presentation when we were learning what a zeolite was, and I told you that a zeolite has heavy metals as part of its structure just by nature. Well, as Hippocrates stated centuries ago, first do no harm. Rest assured, Metron Nutraceuticals is 10 to 15 years ahead of regulatory standards for production and for testing, and does so only with the highest standards. Let me explain. Dietary supplement liquid formulations must be tested for the presence of 4 elemental impurities. Those 4 are arsenic, cadmium, mercury, and lead. Pharmaceutical liquid formulations must be tested for the presence of 24 elemental impurities. They have a higher burden of testing. Do you understand the concentrated solution of this dietary supplement named ClearDrops is tested for 69 elemental impurities? The final ClearDrops product is tested beyond pharmaceutical standards because it is tested for the presence of 29 elemental impurities. At ZOI Global, Not only do we show you the testing standards like I just went through, but we also make available the testing results. The FDA specifications and limits are presented in the purple outline section on the left, and ZOI ClearDrops formulation results per element is presented in the gold outlined on the right. I would like to point each of your eyes to the farthest right-hand column. This column shows just how much better ZOI ClearDrops tested than what the FDA permits for elemental impurities upper limits for pharmaceutical products. Remember, ZOI Global is a dietary supplement. ZOI Global products are tested beyond pharmaceutical standards in many, many aspects. Never forget, again, Dr. Nicholas is a pharmacist first. ZOI products are made at Metron Nutraceuticals in Cleveland, Ohio. Metron is an FDA inspected and an Ohio Department of Agriculture inspected facility that is operating under good manufacturing process standards. Metron's first FDA inspection on September 15, 2017 passed with no action initiated. The Ohio Department of Agriculture inspections Metron Nutraceuticals has endured twice have also passed with no actions initiated. In May 2021, ZOI Global, in partnership with Metron Nutraceuticals, released a true revelation to the world. 3 suspensions with a presence in the ZOI Global market space had some rather appalling independent third-party test results. I'll invite you to ask your ZOI Global advisor to share this information with you. And I truly believe that your appreciation of ZOI's high science approach is going to greatly be appreciated by every one of you as healthcare professionals. At ZOI Global, we offer 2 detoxification strengths. Qualitatively speaking, both formulas are identical. Quantitatively speaking, ClearDetox Pro is twice the strength of ClearDrops. ClearDetox Pro is available exclusively to licensed healthcare professionals that have an ongoing patient-client relationship. Because ZOI Global products are manufactured in an FDA-inspected facility under CGMP standards, you can rely on the accuracy of ZOI Global's product labels at all times. This is a very significant regulatory component, friends, and our earlier mentioned revelation revealed just how valuable CGMP manufacturing and labeling standards are. ZOI ClearDrops is a 30-day supply and has 175 micrograms of zeolite per serving and 1.75 milligrams of vitamin C per serving. Please be aware that once the seal of the ClearDrops bottle is broken, the product has a 30-day lifespan and any remaining product must be discarded. ClearDetox Pro is a 30-day supply and has 350 micrograms of zeolite per serving and 2.5 milligrams of vitamin C per serving. Again, the same rule applies regarding the seal of the ClearDetox Pro bottle being broken. The product must be discarded after the 30-day lifespan. Lori Lee has been able to help so many of her patients over the past 3+ years with a very successful protocol that she has developed. Lori has offered to share this protocol with you so that you may help your patients as well. Lori, thank you for sharing.
You know, ZOI has built a very beneficial toxins and chemicals exposure quiz. To save time and to save patients time, I asked the patient to complete the toxins and chemical exposure quiz before their appointment. Once in my office, I'm able to sit down, spend time with my patients, and help them to see the circumstances that most likely created their problems. Once I help them retrace their steps, many are shocked. Oftentimes, many will see the problem because they begin putting 2 and 2 together from the quiz plus our time together. Once my patients then learn that their exposure to toxins is a very significant common denominator to many of the wellness issues that brought them into my office in the first place, they begin to better understand the solution that I'm recommending to them. And once they realize they are retoxing every day, they learn the significance of needing to then detox every single day. Then it becomes routine for my patients to scrub their internal body just like they scrub their external body. The improvement speaks for itself over time. Remember, each of us has been accumulating toxins for 9 months before we were born. You know, I teach my patients a very simple 10-second per day routine. I'll teach you the same so you may help your patients. This way, my patients never go a day without supporting their body's chronic exposure to chronic environmental toxins, and no product is wasted because they forget. So simply, I teach them to consume 1 full dropperful of ZOI ClearDrops in a 16-ounce glass of water or a beverage of their choice every single morning. Once the patient leaves my office on ClearDrops or ClearDetox Pro, depending upon their health needs, I know my patient's going to receive a 71-day series of daily emails that are designed to educate them further regarding chronic environmental toxicity. This is a true value add for my patients and for myself. My patients are getting further and further educated and increasing their knowledge, which will then lead them to greater health. The benefits and advantages of ZOI's bioavailable solutions are proven and meticulously laid out in the patents. There is significant evidence linking the reduction of ROSs, which may facilitate an increase in energy, focus, concentration, and memory, just to name a few benefits. Colleagues, I assure you, reading the patent information will open your eyes to the magnitude of this breakthrough to a greater degree.
Now we're going to talk about how we transition the zeolite from a detoxifying zeolite and have formed a systemic zeolite delivery system. Like Dr. Nicholas stated in his brief opening, Metron Nutraceuticals is pushing the research and development of other systemic formulas using the zeolite as a transportation mechanism to help solve health and wellness issues inside the cell. At ZOI Global, we firmly understand the responsibility of our dispensary. Very confidently and very proudly, we want each of you to understand that Dr. Nicholas single-handedly is writing the book about water-soluble zeolites being able to act as a transporter, like as a carrier of other substances inside the cell. With sleep issues plaguing many of your patients, ZOI ClearSleep may very well be a game changer for some of your patients. Just like in ZOI ClearDrops, ZOI ClearSleep is a zeolite formula. As a reminder, all zeolites must be cleaned because remember, they have heavy metals that are naturally part of their structure. After the zeolites used in ZOI ClearSleep are cleaned, the zeolite cages are loaded with L-tryptophan and L-theanine. And just like ClearDrops, the zeolite in ZOI ClearSleep is directed to the endothelial cells' vitamin C receptors to deliver the transported L-tryptophan and L-theanine to help people with nighttime sleep. Again, presented here is the ZOI ClearSleep label, and like all ZOI Global formulations, the ClearSleep label meets FDA CGMP standards. Each bottle of ZOI ClearSleep offers a 30-day supply. ZOI ClearSleep might be a dream come true for people that are having difficulty going to sleep and or those that are having difficulty staying asleep. As a reminder, once the seal on the ClearSleep bottle is broken, the product has a 30-day lifespan and any remaining product must be discarded. At ZOI Global, currently, we have 2 consumer strength systemic formulations, ZOI ClearDrops and ZOI ClearSleep. Also, at ZOI Global, in our dispensary, we offer ClearDetox Pro. But keep in mind, we have an entire future line of systemic delivery system formulas on the horizon at ZOI Global because we're dedicated to helping people receive the highest benefit from high bioavailability systemic dietary supplement solutions.
You know, Denise, a systemic problem requires a systemic solution. And we've said that before. And we look at this slide and we say there are two choices, chelation therapy or ZOI ClearDrops or ClearDetox Pro. Let's compare the two types of systemic detoxification. Chelation therapy is a drug. It's a pharmaceutical product. ZOI products are dietary supplements. Chelation therapy is administered intravenously or intramuscularly, while ZOI products are administered orally. Chelation therapy is done in a hospital with intravenous application, while ZOI products are used daily by the patients themselves right at home for safe, slow, and progressive detoxification. Chelation therapy requires cardiac monitoring, while ZOI products require no monitoring at all. Chelation therapy could potentially result in other health challenges, some having potentially lethal effects. ZOI products have no side effects at all. Chelation therapy may actually deplete the patient's body of essential elements such as calcium, magnesium, and potassium, whereas there are no mineral depletions while using ZOI products. So there's really just one choice to guide your patients towards safe, proven, daily, slow, and progressive detoxification to arrest and reverse the well-known problem that we're calling chronic environmental toxicity. Now, I'd like to briefly share some of the most beneficial support resources that are available to each of you to help you practice effectively and efficiently. You'll have a ZOI advisor to help guide your implementation of ZOI solutions into your practice. As a healthcare practitioner, you have access to one of your colleagues, a triple board certified pharmacist, medical doctor, and cardiothoracic surgeon that avails himself to support your questions as you work to solve your patient's needs.
Colleagues, ZOI Global has created a very efficient turnkey system to process your patient's orders using a simple online ordering system. You will have a personalized website portal full of educational resources to support your professional recommendations. The automated 71-day daily email campaign is simply invaluable. It is an extension of the educational component of your practice without you having to spend your time. My patients thank me for this tool. I tell them it's like seeing me for free. The ZAP system is an entire professional marketing system in the palm of your hand. And don't forget, you may start the conversation with the incredible comprehensive toxins and chemicals exposure quiz emailed to you once completed by the patient. There is another turnkey tool for you to use.
At ZOI Global, we lead with education and science, and we value community spirit. We have an educational ZOI customer patient Facebook group named ZOI Zeolites, designed to help your patients to get answers to questions. There are informative articles there and constant support. You and your patients are free to follow us on our ZOI Global corporate Facebook page, which is named ZOI Global 2020. We will notify you of ZOI Global events and notifications to offer further support. In partnership with Metron Nutraceuticals, ZOI offers a very complete and highly comprehensive zeolite evaluation checklist. This checklist is guaranteed to differentiate between the water-soluble zeolite used in ZOI products and any other zeolite under any other product or any other company name.
And I believe one of the most valuable tools in your armamentarium is this systemic action validation. This is your proof. This is your patient's proof. This is the standard of proof that is proving the zeolite capabilities used in ZOI Global formulations. To our knowledge, no other dietary supplement has ever undergone a pharmacokinetic study to prove absorption. So, as you recommend ZOI formulations to your patients, You have peace of mind and you can trust that your recommendation is proven by the same study that every drug must be proven to determine whether or not their compound can be absorbed.
Every time we conduct one of these presentations, I think about that phrase, dotting the I's and crossing the T's, which is actually a huge understatement for Metron Nutraceuticals and ZOI Global. The attention to detail and the stellar nature of these companies and our products are the very important qualities that attracted me to this wellness mission. It brings me great joy to be able to assist my clients long before they desperately seek help because the foundation of their house of health has already crumbled. The hope that we can bring to all people is absolutely immeasurable.
Colleagues, it is so rewarding to have a scientifically proven detox solution that is systemic, bioavailable, and effective. You know, this revolutionary breakthrough not only has given my patients hope, but has enabled me to be a most successful environmental toxin expert in my field.
Lori and Jenny, both of you understand exactly the magnitude of what ZOI Global offers to help people. Again, I want to thank both of you for your invaluable contribution to the most important conversation, chronic environmental toxicity. Friends, at the beginning of this conversation, you heard Dr. Nicholas clearly stated he fully understands the value of his breakthrough water-soluble zeolite technology. You also clearly heard that he stated he is fully dedicated to continuing to push the research and development, validating his dietary supplements and creating supplements that are proven capable of truly helping people. As CEO at ZOI Global, I believe our work is going to be a large part of our lives. I realize that the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what I believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. That, my friends, defines this dietary supplement dispensary named ZOI Global. ZOI Global is so proud to be the global exclusive distributor of Metron Nutraceuticals' patent-protected, innovative water-soluble zeolite technologies. It makes total sense that a gold standard supplier must be partnered with a gold standard dispensary. Again, friends, that is ZOI Global. The timing of this partnership is exceptional. Dr. Nicholas alluded in his opening statements, medicine is changing. We have entered a time period where medicine is finally recognizing chronic environmental toxicity for what it is, a factor or a cofactor to many wellness concerns. There is no question that environmental toxicity plays a significantly important role in our health and in our wellness. To that end, as the global dispensary of the world's only systemic detoxification dietary supplement solution and the world's only systemic zeolite line of dietary supplements, I invite each of you to continue this most important conversation. Reach out to your ZOI Global advisor, have a further conversation, and ask them for their guidance. If you do not have a ZOI Global advisor or you have additional questions, I invite you to press the navigation menu Contact on our Science Field website located at ZOI-GLBL.com. Most importantly, thank you to each of you for being part of this most important conversation.